YouTube. Apologies here, I expect that the frames are stuttering for a moment. I was just checking to make sure that the recording is started properly. Today we've got a spy mission. It's going to be the Kua Fortress Spy, which is one of the most difficult spy areas in the map, or in the entire star chart. So hopefully that goes well. As you can see, I've got my Thesis from the Chimera Prologue, and I level up a bunch of mods just to start maxing that out, and I have almost definitely gotten my melee weapons broken. Just about every melee weapon I own has been broken by those changes. But let's see what I ended up here. Well, let's see. I'll take a look at the Kesheg here. Yeah, this broke just like everything else. I think it was primed reach that dropped off of this sucker here a minute ago, but that's okay. Now the Kesheg, as you might be aware, is a melee weapon that has gotten hasn't got the best stats of any polearm in the game. It's only sitting at a base status chance of, I believe, less than 10%. Let's actually quick check that. Yeah, exactly 10%, and a critical chance that's extremely low there. That 7.5% crit chance means that you can maybe get that high crit multiplier to function well if you were to put on, say, Maiming Strike onto this weapon, but that's not the way I particularly enjoy playing the game. I don't like doing the whole spin spamming. So all I've got sitting here is a condition overload and some viral damage. And honestly, if I was to slap on a spare 4 mod to this thing, I could fit in another mod here. Probably would go for something along the lines of maybe Drifting Contact or just another dual stat mod. And then with the second forma, you could upgrade this Jagged Edge to something like Buzzkill for more raw slash damage. But it's okay. The Kesheg does have a lot of raw damage attached to it. Its attack speed is slow. It doesn't have much crit. It doesn't have much status. So I don't consider it to be a good polearm, but it has a lot of raw damage, and it does deal a decent amount of base damage there. So it should be okay. And that condition overload should be procced quite often by our Warframe here, which would be Saryn. Now, I don't know if I've shown off Saryn before, but this is my particular Saryn build. I love playing her this particular way a lot. And Saryn is, in my opinion, one of the strongest room-clearing damage carry frames in the game right now. And I think that once I actually get my hands on some of the new mods from the recent arbitration alerts, she's only going to get better. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks, by the way, since I've recorded one of these randomizers. The reason for that has just been that I've been struggling with corrupted files. And hopefully today's works. I checked it real carefully. Anyway, so what we got here is we've got an off-tank build. I've got Vitality and Steel Fiber to increase her tank stats as much as I can. And then Regenerative Molt is the core of this build, which is where, when you cast Saryn's Molt, Saryn starts to regenerate roughly 500 health. In this case, exactly 500 health, because I've got positive power duration and exactly 100% power strength in this build. Now, if you put on more power strength, she'll regenerate more health. If you put on minus power strength and minus duration, then she'll regenerate significantly less. So you obviously want to go with a build that's got balanced stats for that augment. So we're just going to go with Streamline for a bit more efficiency, so we can spam the abilities a bit more. Prime Continuity for more ability duration, and most importantly, lots and lots of power range here. So both Auger Reach and Stretch. So I'm saying at 175 range. Now, obviously, if you really wanted to, you could be setting up with, Overextended to be getting an even more highly increased power range, but then you're going to have to start chasing stats around it, because since Overextended reduces your ability strength, and while for a straight-up carry build, the whole overextended thing with reduced strength works, we want to have positive power strength to some extent because we want Molt to be able to heal us. And I want to be able to essentially use the rage off of Hunter Adrenaline. I want to be taking damage, getting energy, and then feeding that energy back into Molt to heal back the damage that I've taken. And because of that little synergy there, I'm not really worried about needing super high ability efficiency. In fact, this build might even physically work without the Streamline attached to it. I'm not sure, though. I've never tried to do this without Streamline, without Xenoric, all that stuff. My assumption would be that it wouldn't work out as well. Anyways, we also just got Corrosive Projection for more armor reduction to help cut through the armor with spores faster, and Handspring because Knockdown Recovery because I don't have Constitution anywhere on this build. Now there's some other variations on this. I used to play this build with Overextended on it and Transient Fortitude to make up for that, and that looks something like this. It's a variation that I had before Auger Reach was a mod, and the stats are quite similar. The biggest key there is that the duration is a lot better on the new version of the build, so that you can keep your miasma ticking for longer, which is pretty important. And I don't know what this is. It's got Blind Rage on it, so I'm assuming it's Troll. I think that was for the old... Does it have that old Contagion Cloud Augment? Yeah, okay. That would be for just doing a raw weapon DPS output, then, is what this build is designed for. It's odd looking, but long duration for keeping the Toxic Lash on for longer, and lots of power strength too. The Toxic Lash gives more damage. I don't think that's that good, but it's worth thinking about as a potential Saryn build. Anyways, I'm going to be taking my preferred Saryn build, the Auger Reach build, into the game this time. What I've got here is the Heck. Now, I absolutely love the Vacor Heck, and what we've got here is the non-Vacor version, which doesn't have very good critical stats. As you can see, only 10%, as opposed to the Vacor version, which has much better critical statistics. But what it does have is it does have access to the Scattered Justice mod, which is plus 200% multi-shot. You combine that with Hell's Chamber for an additional 120 multi-shot, and this weapon deals an insane amount of base damage. So once you got your hands on that Scattered Justice, the Heck starts to be able to put out raw damage in line with something like the Tigris, or, you know, that line of heavy burst shotguns. The Corinth also comes to mind as being just super high amounts of burst. Now, obviously, we're also going to be taking Point Blank, and then I'm going with all 4 of the dual stat mods here in a rather odd order. Oh, no, I know why I'm doing it like that. Because of the Blaze that I've got here on as the last mod. I was confused why I had them specifically Blast and Corrosive in that order, but it's because of Blaze as the last mod to get even more raw damage. Because all this build is 100% status chance off the 4 dual stat mods here, each of them going for elemental and status chance, and then as much raw damage as I can physically slap onto the shotgun. No punch through, no reload speed, nothing, no clip size, nothing real special here. Now on this weapon, do I need... Yeah, I was going to say, I do still need to have all 4 dual stat mods, because if you take off the multi-shot, then you can actually have a better indicator of how much raw status chances has. And this does not even reach 100% status. This is still sitting at roughly, probably, I would estimate, the Hex multi-shot is pretty... I forget how many pellets it is per round, but with only 85% status without multi-shot mods, and that's actually only going to be sitting at perhaps 50% status chance per pellet, or worse than that. So we're still not sitting at the magic 100 number that shotguns need to be ensuring 100% status per pellet. But it's still going to proc a lot of status effects, it's still going to deal a lot of raw damage, and the Heck is still a beast, even when we're talking about the regular version and not the Vacor version. I do still prefer the Vacor version, though, just because the crits are huge. Let's see, what else we got here is the Hystrix, which is a pretty fun weapon. You can set up with a crit build, as you can see here. I have not taken the time to form out this weapon because it's not one of my favorites. When it comes to fully automatic pistols, I like when it comes to fully automatic crit secondaries, I particularly like the Axamatis, I like the X-Stilettos there, so these are great, and I also enjoy my Twin Vipers quite a bit. These suckers right here. I've got Riven mods on a couple of those weapons too, which is why I've spent a lot of form on them. But the Hystrix, however, has this unique mechanic where you can swap between various elemental types and get guaranteed procs on those elements with each individual pellet, each individual bullet that comes out of the barrel. So that's pretty cool that you can get that damage out, but the raw status chance for the rest of the weapon isn't that amazing, which is why I don't think it's that great. And the critical stats are, as you can see, 24% 2.2 times is pretty good, but it's nothing like what the Axamati is going to put out for crits. So it's really kind of just a gimmick weapon in my opinion, and it has a good gimmick attached to it where it's putting out so many status effects, but nothing special. Anyways, I'm doing just a stripped down version of the normal build, so Hornet Strike for bonus damage, Lethal Torrent and Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot, and a bit of extra fire rate, which helps a lot more with a automatic pistol than with a non-automatic, a semi-automatic, obviously. Then we got Turret Cracker, Pistol Gamut for more crit chance and crit damage, and then Jolt, and looks like a low rank of Pistol Pestilence here is all I can afford in terms of capacity, but just to get some corrosive damage on it. And that's basically how the 7 mods that I use on just about any crit pistol out there. obviously, if the 8th mod could be a Riven mod, or it could be something like bonus slash damage or bonus crit damage. You know, there's a mod for that. And then Death Cube here. Death Cube actually just got a new augment. I forget the name of it, but I haven't managed to obtain it yet. Because I'm trying to save up my Samaris rep to get the new augment for Shades instead, because I use Shade a lot more. But Death Cube got some augment where he restores energy or drops an energy orb after he assists in however many kills, which actually is pretty interesting. That would make Death Cube the only Sentinel that can supply energy as far as I'm aware. So that would be an interesting reason to come back to this Sentinel and start using it again. Because as you know, Vaporize is not that fantastic of a precept, but the fact just because it just deals some raw damage and staggers that one enemy it's hitting, rather than, you know, doing anything that affects enemies in an area effect or having utility, you know. But so it's worth taking a look at actually, since Death Cube would then be able to supply extra energy. That's pretty cool. Anyways, basic build here. You can see Vitality, Regen for tank stats, Vacuum, and Sacrifice, Meta Ray, because those are things I put on every build, same with Animal Instinct. And then Guardian, because I have some extra space for Guardian. I'm going to be running this with Xenric for the extra energy regen, because I want to be able to... Oh, that's right, this is going to be tricky actually, because I don't have any real tools to keep me from being spotted by enemies, other than just going into Operator and going invisible with the Operator itself. So you may actually see me spending a decent amount of this mission in this Operator. So I guess it's worth taking a look at. The fact that I've got the increased energy capacity on the Operator to stay invisible for longer, and I've also got the Energizing Dash maxed out, of course. So that'll help keep the Operator's energy up for a long time. What is this? Increased channeling efficiency? That'll probably get changed when they hit the Melee 3.0 here in a few weeks. As you can see, by the way, I did take the Life Strike off of that Kesheg, and the reason is that I'm actually struggling to find it, to be able to use Life Strike at all on my Warframes nowadays. There's this thing where you have to be essentially not taking any actions other than pressing the channeling button before channeling it engages, which is a bit weird. And that came out with this update with all the new changed melee noises. I don't know if they're just trying to wean us off. Channeling. Oh, wait. I do not want to be in a squad. No! Crud. Oh, I always want to solo these missions for the weekly Monday missions. Dang it. It's not funny if I'm just letting my squad mates do the whole mission for me. I mean, granted, there are missions like Interception that would be practically impossible to do without a squad. I get that. But I'm still... I mean, it's not that I've never survived a solo Interception in a sortie before, though. That's not where I'm going with this. 500 ping too? 440, something like that? Don't get me out of here. Gosh. Well, that's silly. Alright, let's change that matchmaking to friends only, or even solo. Why not? Try that again.
Now we finish this business once and...
I forgot that I had that set to public squads though, because I've just been running so many of the arbitrations. Really interested actually in getting my hands on that new aura. I'm only one Vitus Essence short, gotta do it again. Gotta do one more arbitration for that, but I'm really interested in getting my hands on that just so I can try out specifically the overextended Speed Nova build. I want to see what that's like when you have just negative 60 or whatever. What would it be, 10% power strength as opposed to the 40% that you're normally seeing on, which is just overextended? Anyways, this is not... I don't have any silenced weapons as far as I'm aware. I don't think the Hystrix counts as a silenced weapon. Let's go with fire. That'll stagger enemies. Sneaky, sneaky.
Tenno, be on the lookout for increased
Hello.
measures.
I'm actually really worried about Death Cube coming up and zapping enemies when I'm trying to get stealth kills on them too. Could be a bit of an issue. Oh boy, he's facing this way. There again is where the just putting Animal Instinct onto every companion comes in super handy, because you never know when you're going to get stuck in a mission where you might need stealth. Of course, then again, how much do I really care about keeping this as a pure stealth mission? Not at all. That's the answer to that, is not at all. That's interesting, actually, that the Toxic Lash is forcing it to do Toxic procs on top of the Forced Fire procs and the base status effects that are actually attached to this. I forget what the multiplier was, but I think it's some kind of bonus damage, because that got chunked really hard. I mean, Death Cube is already on a critical health. That's kind of okay, though. If he died off, I would not be too upset. Let's go ahead and... Oh, someone saw me. Let's go ahead and hit that sucker there. Yeah, there was people complaining about this patch, too, because Saryn got... she got rebalanced somewhat. Now, the thing to be aware of, right, is that the main rebalance happened to Miasma because they spotted a bug in it. What was supposed to happen with Miasma is that when you Miasma units that had spores on them, it was supposed to deal bonus damage, but the bonus damage wasn't there, and so they rebalanced Miasma so that now, if now the bonus damage is working and it actually deals twice as much damage as it would have before the patch. If you are hitting a unit with spores, but if you are hitting a unit without spores, then it's only dealing half the damage, which is perhaps a bit awkward. But I mean, Miasma is mostly used just to cause spores to keep spreading anyway. Spores are Saryn's primary damage output. This is gonna be tricky, though. This is gonna be tricky because there's that one area where the where there's cameras spotting you as you're trying to do some of the work here. And this is gonna be tricky here. Okay. Let me get down and get a finisher on this lady. There's where the Kesheg actually is doing something vaguely useful. Yeah, that's not the raise, but... Yeah, the Kesheg is being pretty useful there, in that it's absolutely able to deal lethal finishers to enemies that have pretty high amounts of health. Just because it deals enough raw damage that you can get away with trying something like that. Here's the area that I'm scared of, right? Because I've never really tried going about this with this particular area of the map. Because there's those cameras there, right? And it's not like I can use... it's not like I can use ciphers or anything. Just keep on hitting him, keep on stagger-lucking him before he shoots and the sound alerts anybody nearby. Because I am going to go through and do the hacks of this. I'm not going to try and do the cheese strategy where you shoot out all the thingies underneath. I do want to actually try and hack this out. It's a little more convenient for me right now to try and do that since I don't have any silenced weapons, and I want to try and keep from alerting. Those elemental affects me. Wow, that bright green on that Kesheg is a little distracting. I want to try and keep enemies from being alerted from me firing weapons for as long as possible. Sneaky, sneaky. She spot me? I think she spotted me. I'm just gonna rush it. No, she didn't spot me yet. Oh, that is so lucky. Right. Okay. I'm gonna watch these cameras. See, the problem is I don't think there is a configuration of those cameras where they're not spotting that. So I might just go for the quick little assassination on this other guard here, if I can avoid it. Can avoid the cameras for just long enough. Oh god, I'm stuck. Alright, nothing to do for it there. I think that's the last guard in the vault, though, and that's the important thing. Is that I can... I can actually go for those suckers now. Ooh. And perhaps I should have just rushed through the vault shooting out the little underneath things. It took much longer than I expected it was going to, but hey... You do what you have to, man. You do what you have to. And sometimes, this is probably going to be a really long episode between that false start into a public mission and having to spend so long on that vault. And probably the other vaults too, since I don't have any stealth equipment here. But hey, sometimes that's what it is, you know. Well, anyways, what I was trying to show with that, right, is that I'm pressing, you can hear me clicking possibly, I'm pressing the channel button right now, and nothing's happening, right? And it's not like I'm using a trackpad or some abnormal gear. This is just a mouse and my normal laptop. And nothing happens unless you're holding perfectly still and pressing no other buttons, you know? I guess you can do it while blocking too. But if you're pressing any of the movement keys, channeling doesn't happen. And if you're attempting... Channeling actually works if you're holding perfectly still, but it's just being locked up by movement keys, which is weird. Ooh, it didn't spread. I was hoping that support was going to spread. Okay. Let's get this guy. Someone's going to spot me. Just heck them down.
Attack us, and we will counter.
Alright. There's an alarm.
You've been detected.
As you can see, the big downside of the base heck is the small clip size. The fact that it empties after just 4 shots is not fantastic, given the weapon's non-stellar reload animations. Hey, there's the stagger coming through right there. Ow! Keep on spamming those down. When the Molt gets killed, actually, the health regeneration stops. That's important to realize. Oh, this could be super easy. This physically could be super easy. We'll have to see if I get lucky here. There's multiple configurations for this one, and if I actually manage to get to the left here, then I'll be able to Jesus super fast. But the left-hand path is broken. Drat. See, if this fan wasn't here, then I'd be able to just slip straight through there and get down to the lower level in a hurry. As it is, I've got to do this the tricky way. Is that open over there today? That's not really open today either. That is another path that can be left open under some circumstances, but not this time, doesn't look like. Ah, God. This particular area is always a bit of a crapshoot anyway, you know? Now I'm going to try and do this bit of parkour over these lasers. Can I fit under that one? Not while running. Probably can fit though. Yeah, okay. It's always better to do that as conservatively as possible. How am I intended to get out of here today? Oh, that is opening and closing. Okay. Well, interesting. Ha, here's the path I recognize. That sort of gets me in there. I'm so disoriented because it's not the path I prefer to use. Oh, that dude finally died to that poison? Are you serious? Alright, where... Okay, the actual vault is right over there. That's the directions they're showing me. Ah, here's the area I remember. So you can get in right down there. Just rush through it, hope no one sees me. Someone saw me. But it's too late. I'm already in the vault. Even if they raise the alarm, all I lose is a bit of affinity.
Data extracted. They won't even know it's gone.
I was gonna say, that being down underneath this particular hole is just so disorienting too. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and explore around a little bit too, just to show off what's going on. Can't believe that's actually opening and closing. I didn't think it was. But anyways, this path I took here, to get into the middle of it, was just slapping me up into this back little area here. But the number one place you want to spot is you want to spot this little platform here, because that shows you where you can jump through to get to this little circle there. And as you can see, there's that area being blocked off by lasers, but you know, you can phase through those with a VAR, that's about it. anyways. Getting to, and as you can see, getting to this particular door to hack it is possible, but difficult. I prefer to go through the underneath area. Bit of a spy vault recap there. Go spreading, get the miasma ticks hitting for more. Wow. As you can see, there's plenty of range on this build too. Miasma's still hitting in an area of something like 30 meters or so. Probably a bit more than that, actually. I think my miasma on this build hits quite a bit longer. Let me quick check that. 35 meters, yeah. Excellent. But the real reason why you want to go for heavy range on Saryn is just because you want the spores to be spreading over a wide radius. And that's all is just huge when you can keep the spores spreading from enemy to enemy to enemy. Which way is this supposed to be in? I feel like I'm getting my chain jerked here. Where am I supposed to go for Charlie? Oh, it's up top. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sometimes it tries to run you around here in this style. I mean, map reading issues there, you know. There, it's starting to tick on all of them. Woo! Pretty serious spores there. It's been odd actually playing Saryn in a stealth mission. I hardly ever play this Warframe in stealth just because she's so... what would be the word for it? Non-subtle, I guess? Like, Saryn's usual strategy is just to run in, throw spores on stuff, and kill everything. This might be one of the longer uploads I've ever done for this series, which is not good, because I'm wanting to get them as short as possible, but... you know, getting around 10 minutes for the YouTube and whatnot. But hey, super long isn't bad, I guess. Wow.
The target console is nearby.
The map is just huge this time.
The alarms now.
Alright, I might try and do the alternate route to the right here as well.
Heads up, a Grenier assault team is headed your way.
Because this one, all I have to juke is that sucker right there. And I can actually have a pretty free reign. As long as he doesn't turn around. There? Perfect. Oh, I blew that one. I blew that one wide open. Alright, forget it. I gotta go through the underneath area. It's the only way to get there in time at this point. Thank goodness for the movement speed boost from the bolt or whatever it's called. And for the fact that it's letting me face tank all this stuff. And for the fact that I've got so much practice at hacking, I can just do that quickly. That's the way I normally go, but it's difficult to do when you don't have the ability to juke the sentinels. Ah.
Retrieval was successful.
4 seconds left on that timer, man. Lucky. Really, really lucky. Woo! And of course, Saryn still just demolishes these high-level enemies, you know. The reduced rate of spores gaining really isn't a downside, because that's what I consider to be the actual nerf from this patch, and even then, it's not even that much of a nerf, you know? Just because with Saryn, you typically just want the spores to build up at moderate levels of damage. If they build up too fast, then they can't spread from enemy to enemy, because the enemies are dying too fast. And you really want to get as much damage out as possible to as many enemies out as possible. Come on. My heck wins. Alright, let's get this mission over with. I'm sure it's close to half an hour on this. Spy missions always are kind of slow. Alrighty. Well, if you sat here this whole time, thanks for watching. Part 2 out.